and welcome back to the Unexplained Archives, where we talk about all the spooky stuff. You get your, I guess, your weekly dose of the unexplained. I'm Jamie, one of the hosts.
Hello, and I'm Jen.
The other host.
The other host.
I feel like we always say that. How
Yes,
are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I finally have gotten a little bit of downtime and it's been pretty nice.
Good.
I didn't realize how much I was running like 100 miles an hour until I actually slowed down a little bit and then I'm like, "Oh wow, I didn't realize how much I needed it." So,
Sure.
got to go on a little fall hike this morning
Okay.
and it was beautiful weather, and
Yes.
I just think it was good for the old noggin, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah,
So,
I think so
yeah.
too. Yes, it's been great outside still. Getting a little bit cooler, but it's
Yes.
been beautiful and sunny, so I'm here for it.
No complaints. It is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Good,
How's
good.
how's your week been?
Good. Yeah, it's been busy. The days have been flying by. I
Yes.
think it's just because there's a lot going on. I guess I kind of have to expected that for the month, but it makes the days go by really, really quick. So, but I did like you. I took some time out and I decided to have like a day of fun myself. So
Good.
I was just talking about how beautiful it is. So I spent all day indoors at a movie theater.
Nice. Hey, that works too.
Yeah, it was fine, but I wanted to get caught up on some movie watching because right now I feel like there's a lot of good stuff out. So yeah, so I saw One Battle After Another, the Paul Thomas Anderson film with Leonardo DiCaprio, which was amazing. Jamie saw it as well.
I loved it. Yes, I did. I
So
was in
good.
it.
Yep, yep. I think I can speak for Jamie and I when we say Sean Penn is like incredible. Uh,
Blew me away. I could
mhm.
not get enough.
Yeah,
Every little twitch, I mean, his walk, he was 100% committed to that character
he
and
really
it
was.
showed. It was
Yeah.
great.
It's so good.
Yes,
I think this is one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best films, and everyone was perfect in it.
I agree.
The acting was incredible.
It was.
So yeah, so I was happy to see that. I also saw The Smashing Machine with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and
Yes.
Emily Blunt. And that was very, very good, about a UFC fighter, true story, based on a true story. I finally got caught up on The Conjuring.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm glad.
Yes, I finally saw the most recent what is it? Last Rites, The Conjuring Last Rites.
Mhm. Yes.
I checked that one out. Very good. And then Good Boy. I saw the horror movie that is made in the perspective of a dog. So,
I love it.
and the perfect timing because I know we could just hear my dog
Yeah,
barking in the back.
we had cats
Oh
running
yeah.
across your shoulder, your back, and Roscoe's chilling behind you.
Zoo is in full effect tonight.
Yes.
So yes.
I like it though. You know, it's
It works.
production quality, right?
Right, right.
They say, the more animals you have, it adds to production value, and we've got that
We
here
must
on
have
our
a lot of it
podcast.
then. Got a lot of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so awesome.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you got to binge on some movies. That
Yeah.
sounds like a fun time.
It was fun.
So
It was fun. I kind of needed a day to chill out too and get caught up on movies. And so that was great. That was good.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll have some movie talk later for our
Sure.
spooky movies. So stay tuned to the end if you want to hang out
Mhm.
after we're done discussing our topic of the week. Then we're going to give our spooky movie recommendations of the
Yes.
week. So, yeah, come back or stay. Yeah.
And don't leave.
Stay around.
We'd like you to stay.
Yeah, we like you to stay.
Yeah.
We like you to stay. Well, today, I actually watched a documentary, and I know you've watched it too now. But it was called The Unbinding,
Yeah.
and I was in it. I couldn't stop watching it. It freaked me out, and then it also started. Uh, it gave me our topic idea, I guess, for the week because it's about a cursed object. So that's primarily what we're going to talk about. I know we've talked about other cursed objects along the way, from dolls, to, different things. But this one was a whopper.
It
So,
was. Yeah,
yeah. What did you think of the documentary?
I thought it was very well done. It was such an interesting story. Like you said, I mean, you get sucked right in.
Yeah.
If everything in the movie is correct, then yikes.
Yikes, right? Yes. Well, it was released in 2023.
Right.
Um, I had never heard of it. I just it kind of came my way and I was like, I am gonna check this out. I wasn't disappointed, but it got me looking into it. I looked into more about the object, which they called the crone.
Yes.
So I guess we'll dive right in. But The Unbinding is a paranormal documentary. There's reenactments
Yeah.
in it. It was directed by Carl Pfeiffer. It was released in 2023. It follows the case involving a wooden effigy dubbed the Crone. This crone was discovered by hikers in the Catskill Mountains, which triggers this cascade of all kinds of strange phenomenon. Um, I mean, just imagine you're hiking in the Catskill Mountains. You got, this cave that's slick with moss and tucked away in the shadowy
Right.
corner, and then you see this wooden statue.
Mhm.
It's got nails jammed into its eyes. It's got a rope around its neck like a noose. Looks more I guess less like an art piece and more like, I don't know, I don't know if I would want to take it home. It looks kind of like a
No.
warning
Oh
or
yeah, it looks like a total voodoo doll, like a wooden
it
voodoo
does. It looks
doll.
like yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so
Hmm.
that's how the documentary begins, is these hikers pick up this thing, they bring it home. Um, out of I don't know. What do you think? They were just curious or
Sure. It's funny because just the other day I saw a post on Instagram where someone talked about like if you went into like an abandoned haunted house and you
right.
saw something in the house that you liked, would you take it and bring it back with you?
Uh-huh.
And my answer was no. One, I feel like whatever is in a place like that should be
Yes.
there. One for people if who come to venture in there and for them to see it as well, whatever it is, whatever that. And like I said, I think I talked about this on last week's show. I used to do a lot of urbex photography, urban exploration, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we trespassed a lot back in
Oh
those
yeah.
days.
Oh yeah. I've been there myself.
A lot of trespassing and but my thing was I didn't want to take anything.
Mhm.
We weren't breaking into people's homes. These were just abandoned places, and
Right.
there were some abandoned houses.
Photos.
There
You
were
can take photos of it.
I took so many photos and I was okay with that. I just didn't in that moment I wasn't worried about anything necessarily being cursed. I just thought, no, everything that's here belongs here. And so
Right.
I thought about that in that Instagram post when I'm watching this movie and I thought, no, even on a hike, I would probably, I mean, listen, if Hayden is walking with me and we're going, he likes to collect leaves or, things like that. That's one thing. But if I saw something like this object at this point, after everything we've done and we've talked about, out of just like fear, I would have left it,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Right.
and everything I feel like we have, been diving into, my instincts would say, we're not going to touch that, leave it
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
But these hikers were probably like, oh, wow, this is cool. Or
This
maybe,
is cool.
right,
It's in a cave. I mean, someone left it here. I can understand,
I can
the
understand.
curiosity.
I'm
Right.
right there with you on that. That's what I would say. I completely get it. However, I would
Right.
not have done that.
No,
But then we
I don't
wouldn't have
know.
our story today. So,
Yes. And we will post pictures of this thing.
yeah.
But it's like a wooden statue. I would say from what I could see from the film what would you say, maybe 6 inches
Yeah.
tall, something like that.
Yeah.
Wooden, but the nails that are nailed into its head and the noose around the neck, it definitely does. It looks like someone had ill intent for
That's
this, I
exactly.
would say. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but these hikers, they took it home. At first, they just thought it was just this, cool little object that they found. But before you know it, shit started going down in
Yes,
their
okay.
house. Yeah. So they started hearing knocking. I feel like knocking is a very common
It is always how it begins.
first sign. Yeah. That's how it begins. It
Mm,
was in the middle of the night. They started feeling like they were being watched. Um, that's a common thing. Then the statue itself would not be where they left it. So they would put it down on a table, they'd wake up, it'd be in a completely different spot. And then the whole house, the atmosphere started to change. It started feeling very heavy and oppressive. So the hiker doesn't really know what they brought home at this point.
yep.
They start to suspect that maybe there's something else spooky going on with it. It it seems like it has haunted their house. Like this since they brought it home, it seems like they've got a legit haunting in their house.
Right.
So, this is that kind of classic, should you remove things from a location or not? This is the question it brings up.
Right.
Um, they didn't want to get rid of it, but they did they eventually contacted some experts on this. They had, I guess, heard online about Greg and Dana Newkirk. I don't know if you're familiar, if everyone's familiar with them or if you're not. They run the Newkirk Museum of the Paranormal. It's a traveling collection of haunted and cursed objects. They are also known for a docu-series, a paranormal docu-series called The Hellier. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't,
Hellier?
but I'm going to now.
Yeah. So it kind of blends paranormal, folklore, strange investigations, and that's what they're most known for. But the Newkirk, so unlike many ghost hunters, they kind of approach these cursed objects with kind of, I don't know how you would describe it, but kind of like they have respect for them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
From the film, would you say that they kind of handle them in a respectful way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They have a lot of curiosity about them, but they're not the kind of people that are into like jump scares or anything like that. They kind of take a more practical approach to this
Yeah.
stuff. One thing that thought was cool was that at first they didn't jump all over going and getting this crone, or they gave them practical advice. They emailed, the hikers reached out. First they said try this, try maybe apologizing to the crone
Hmm.
and maybe talk nice to it, and
Right, right.
and all these like suggestions for the hikers to do on their own. That didn't work, and it seemed to have made everything worse when they did that. And so eventually, they agreed to take it in. And so the Newkirks go, they get this crone, and I mean, they've dealt with stuff like this before. They've had haunted dolls, all kinds of cursed items because that's their thing. They have a museum of cursed artifacts. But they themselves even felt like this one was a little different. So the crone was shipped to them. When it arrived in their home, they almost immediately started feeling the unsettling feeling in their home. Um, they understood what the hikers were trying to describe because it's kind of hard to put these things into words,
Oh, for sure.
but they immediately could feel it. Then they start an investigation. Well, first, some weird things started happening. So they had like a flood, like they could hear water running
Yes.
in their house. What else happened? It seemed like
I mean, they
oh,
also,
it had to do with water. Like they
yeah,
went to, yeah, it looked like there was wet all over the
their
couch.
couch. It looked like they
Um,
said footsteps.
yes,
Yeah,
there
like
were
wet
footsteps. Yeah,
footprints on the couch.
yes.
Yes,
So, it had a lot to do with water. It seemed
yes.
like
Hmm.
it was like a water haunting almost.
Almost, yes.
Yeah. And so they take this thing, eventually got fed up and they were like, okay, you're going in the box. They put it in a box and that seemed to help. They wrapped it up, put it in the box, closed it up. That seemed to help. But then they decided to take it with them to the Paracon,
Yeah,
right?
they
Yeah.
were in at Michigan Paracon, which
Yeah.
from what I understand is a big one. It's in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah.
I've never been because every time I'm like, ugh, do I really want to drive all the way to the Sioux? But like
Right.
I'll drive to like Pennsylvania
Yeah.
to go to that Paracon. I might as well. I
Right.
think it's half the drive for
Yeah.
me to get to the Sioux.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was at Sue, if that was a yearly thing or if that was
Yes.
just once in a while they have it there. But
Yeah,
that I was like, that's so close, Jen. Why haven't you
yeah,
been?
yeah, because it feels like, I don't know, heading up north, like driving north to Michigan, I don't know why, because I'm all the way at the
Mm,
bottom, so having to drive to the top seems like, oh my gosh, I'm like, that's hours. Although, I mean, it really actually could be, I have to look how far it is,
yeah,
but it's not super close. But like I said, if I drive to Pennsylvania for a Paracon, I should probably go up to the Sioux sometime.
right. Yeah, I
Make it
think
up to the
so.
Sioux. Yeah,
But I
but
thought that
yeah, a
was
lot
cool.
of people, yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
people are there. It looks like one of the best Paracons there
yeah,
are. Yeah,
yeah. And it totally looked like something I would be down to check out. I
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
even really wondering if you had been there before, so I wasn't sure.
Shockingly, no.
But anyway, so they brought their oddities, their cursed objects to Paracon. They brought the crone with them. Um, soon as they took that sucker out, all hell broke loose. They said they could feel it. It was like the air changed. It was almost like it like just was like a tornado ripped through
I mean, they
of
said this was like seconds. It just took seconds
seconds.
for this to happen.
Yeah, right. Which was interesting. And I kind of missed this in the documentary. Maybe you caught this part, but what happened to the guy when they opened it
Oh,
and his
yes. So immediately there's a
nose was bleeding?
man. Yeah, there was a man nearby. He started to have a seizure. That's what
That's
he was
right.
doing, but blood was coming from his mouth.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they saw the blood coming down his mouth and he was having a seizure. So that's one of the
Yeah.
first things that happened. And then didn't
Yeah.
they said the chandeliers, there were big
Yes.
chandeliers in the room they were in. They all started swaying at once. These were like
Yes.
heavy chandelier, like ballroom
Right.
chandeliers.
Yeah.
They started moving.
Yeah.
And then something else happened. What was the other thing that happened?
I know I can't remember, but it was like as soon as they took this thing out of the box.
I remember. Okay, so
Oh.
there was another vendor. There was a woman who was selling her books,
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
her drink fell down and came open, and it got liquid all over her book.
Right.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
That's
It was
right.
like it opened, and then boom, all this stuff happened at once.
Yeah.
And the guy who had asked to see her, to see the crone, immediately was like apologetic and was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
put it
Put
away,
it back.
put it
Put it
back.
back in the
Hmm.
box. Yeah. So yeah, so this crone apparently it there's something really strong
It is
attached to
powerful.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, very powerful. Um, so they also contact one of their friends, I think
Hmm.
from college,
Yes.
and he had a 3D printer
Hmm.
and decided, well, maybe if we just do a replica of this thing, we can study it more. And things just started going crazy when they tried to do the 3D printing. They tried, like, no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get the nails or the noose quite right.
Hmm.
Um, they had the guy that had the 3D printer actually had a baby or a
Yeah.
child
Mhm.
that was out of town, but when the he tried to mess with the crone, then they started hearing things upstairs, and it was like things were shit was starting to go down in his house,
Mhm.
and it was up near where the crib was,
Yeah,
and
didn't they
I was
find,
really happy. Huh?
wasn't there water
Yes, and there was
by
water again.
by the
Yep,
crib?
by the crib.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
On the
they're
floor.
flood in the Newkirk's house,
Mhm.
wet footprints on their couch, and then water near the crib.
Right.
So yeah, very strange.
Very.
So they decide to try to replicate it. Things aren't going well. But then eventually they decide they're gonna try the Estes method.
Mhm.
So the Newkirks employ a technique called the Estes method, and this is where one investigator wears noise-canceling headphones connected to a spirit box. I have that exact spirit box,
There
I'll
you
say.
go.
I was
Okay.
like, oh, that's the one I have. Yeah. A device that rapidly scans radio frequencies. So the person can't hear the questions being asked. So the person that is connected to the device has the headphones. They cannot hear the other investigators' questions
Mhm.
to the spirit. Um, they simply say aloud. So the person that is connected to the spirit box only says what they hear through the
Mhm.
spirit box back, which I think that's very interesting, and I really hope that we can try that sometime.
That's my
Um,
goal.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's meant to reduce bias and avoid the tendency for the investigators to hear what they want,
Sure, absolutely. Yes.
right? Which I think is great.
Yep.
And so during these sessions with the crone, the responses are pretty freaky.
I mean, it
Um,
was intelligent and it completely
yeah,
lined up with the questions that were being asked.
yeah,
It made sense.
yes,
Yes.
yes, it did. I mean, to the point where it was like, I'm scared. He's coming for me.
Yeah.
Help me was said quite a bit. What was the name? It was, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh, it
But
started
there was,
with a
what
B.
was it?
It started
It
with a
started with a B. It
B.
was like
Mhm.
bit, Bidum,
Oh,
Bidum,
Venom. Yep,
Bidum,
that was
Bidum.
it.
Yes.
Hmm.
Bidum, what kept coming up, that was the name that the voice was saying, Bidum is coming for me. He's got me. I'm trapped here. And they kept saying, no, you're not. You can get out of, you can get out of there. You can, there's help. You don't have to stay. He's not really, doesn't really have power over you.
Yes.
It was very interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting. Um, but during these sessions, the voices seemed to connect directly with the object. They were referencing entrapment, pain, warnings, and it felt as though something or someone was bound within the statue. That's the way it was coming across, like it was physically stuck
Right.
in this statue.
Right.
What came to mind to you? Like, what were you picturing during this?
So this was really reminiscent to me about the grandma and grandpa dolls that I got to see
Yes.
at Steve Shippey's museum.
Yes.
Because it is said that a demon had bound a human to the grandpa doll, and the
Right.
demon is inside the grandma doll, and
Right.
the grandma is like controlling the grandpa doll. So the demon is
Right.
controlling the human and the doll. And at the
Right.
time when I visited there, we were getting responses as well. Because people were fascinated by these two particular dolls. I was too, but it also like scared me half to death because I was like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? And I do remember asking Steve, I was like, how is this possible? Like, what is the situation where a demon gets a hold of a human spirit and can do that? Like, what? I mean, and he didn't even know. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought, my gosh, what are the circumstances? And so when this came up, That was immediately what I thought of. To me, but in my mind, I thought, what if this is some kind of like demonic
Demon.
type, yes, spirit, and had gotten a hold maybe of a female human, but they're
Right.
trapped together in this one object. That was immediately
Yeah.
what I thought of. Yeah,
Yes. It's wild because the way they were explaining it, it's almost like another world, but another world inside this crone, and they
yeah,
were like trapped there, almost
yeah.
like a room. Like there's a room. That's the way I pictured it,
Okay,
the
yeah,
way it was described by the voice coming through
sure.
the spirit box. It was like they were trapped there together, but
Mhm.
Bidum was like the demon or
Yeah, I mean, what a
definitely the
sure sounds like a demonic name, right? They all
right.
have these
Yeah.
like one word, like
Yeah. Yeah.
sounding names. I'm
Yeah.
like, sure, that sounds like a demonic
Right.
name to me.
Uh,
I get it.
yeah, so freaky.
Right?
But it seemed like they had control of the situation, and
Right.
this other person was trapped in there. So it was almost like the voice that was crying for help
Yes.
was more like a human, and Bidum
Hmm.
was more like a demon. So
That's
it's
what I
so
was thinking.
strange. It's such,
Right. Right.
it's very, very freaky. I feel like
Well,
it should be like a real movie.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they probably should and could. But
Yeah,
when these types of stories happen, it's like it's concerning because, like I said,
right.
what, where is that human spirit? What position are they in? How the heck? You know what I mean? Like it feels
Yeah,
scary. Like how does that happen? Like, and can
I
it
know.
happen to anybody? How does that?
Yeah.
How does it work?
I don't know.
You
It's so
know?
freaky. Yeah. But and did the person that drove the nails into this statue are they the ones that caused this to happen? Was it kind of a voodoo doll situation? I just have so
Right.
many questions
A ton of
about this.
questions. I really do. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I mean, my guess is that somebody absolutely had to. So yes, I guess if you have some type of vendetta against somebody, you would treat it
Yeah.
almost in the style of a voodoo doll. I'm sure there was a ritual involved in which they,
Right.
but then it's like, is that person alive or dead, or do that? Is it a ritual in which you curse somebody while they're
Right.
alive, and then when they die, they go into this thing? What did they
Yeah.
murder this person? Then
Right.
their spirit goes in there, and then you call on the demon to then
Yeah.
be there. I'm just the nails and the noose for me.
Right.
That is like, okay, clearly someone put those things in there and on there. And
Right.
who the heck would have had the knowledge and know how to even do something like this? I don't,
Yes. Those are
it's
all questions that I had too. I mean, is this person dead and this is their spirits,
right.
or are they alive somewhere? This is like some kind of dream,
Ugh,
like there's, alternate reality. What is
nice.
it? It's so freaky.
Yeah, I don't
But
like any of
definitely something was going on and it was coming through
it.
the
Mhm.
spirit box. Definitely a cry for help. Um, they do some further investigation after this. It kind of turns toward folklore.
Yeah,
Some suggest that the crone could be tied to Slavic mythology,
yes,
specifically to a goddess called Mokosh. And
yes.
they had spoken to an expert who kind of gave them the rundown on Mokosh.
Mhm.
And basically, this goddess was associated with women, fertility, fate, water,
Water.
water. Yep. One of the experts interviewed in the documentary argues that Mokosh, at least as popularly imagined today or
Mhm.
described today, is more of a modern reconstruction than an ancient deity.
Yes.
And so that kind of raises a fascinating point. Like, are the investigators projecting mythology onto the object, or did the object somehow draw that association itself? But they had done a lot of research. They basically Google imaged, this
Yes.
statue, and they found that this was the closest that it came was to Mokosh, and so that's how they
Yeah.
narrowed it down,
It
right?
makes so much sense when they were learning more about Mokosh. It just was like, I'm sure for that, like I would have been ready to like high five after hearing
Yeah,
the connection there. I would have been like, okay,
especially the water after
yeah,
all the things with water that
revenue.
happened.
We are on to
Yeah,
something here for sure.
right.
Mhm.
Back in their home, the Newkirks begin to feel the weight of the crone. I mean, objects are shifting, there's like shadowy things going on. They start talking about sensing an intelligence behind it. So not just, you know, creepy things, knocks and things like that, but like it had some kind of intelligence
Mhm.
in it. They approach it with respect, though, still. They don't provoke it in any way. They try, they even apologize to it. Like they're trying, to say, look, we want to help you. Like we want to get you back to the cave where we found you. We want to do that, but we've got to take care of this stuff and do it right, first. So really, I mean, a lot of tensions building, like they can't just go and throw it back in the cave. They want to do it right. But they do feel like there is a spirit that is bound to the statue. They're kind of weaving in the folklore and the psychology and the supernatural, and they're just trying to figure out the best way to handle it.
Yes.
But after, I mean, I think they had the crone for about a year. I mean, a lot of time had gone by.
Mhm.
But they spent weeks and weeks and weeks studying, trying to make a decision on, if it's truly trapped, how can we set it free?
Sure.
And then they start planning an unbinding ritual, which
Mhm.
is what they end up doing. So the rope tied around the crone's neck, is carefully cut, the nails that are hammered into its eyes are removed. Each of these actions is done like with intent, symbolically and spiritually, like undoing. They're trying to undo whatever curse had binded itself to this object.
Yeah.
And the ritual itself is filmed,
Yeah.
in reverence. Like there's
Yeah.
no flashy exorcism.
Right.
There's no like Hollywood style, confrontation or anything like that. It's just these people calmly and respectfully attempting to release what has been trapped.
Mhm.
And they do all this back at the Catskills.
Yes.
So they go back to the cave, and what I found interesting was that uh, um they did it on the date of what was the date? It was the night before
Yeah. So it was like October,
the
what was it, the 26th, I think. Yeah.
26th, yeah. And so it rolled over into,
It was,
like, they started it at night, and by the time they finished the ritual, it
mm,
just happened to be like during the time where the goddess, right?
mhm.
Um, I'm trying to think of the word. I know there was a word and I can't think of the ceremony, but anyway, they just happened to instinctfully know to do it
Do
during
it on
this
that
time.
particular
So,
day. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
That
was
was
so
incredible
cool.
too. Yes. Like, what
Yeah,
are the chances?
I know.
Hmm.
But I thought they did it more like an act of compassion and not,
Oh,
this big like staged production. So I really kind of like the Newkirks. I thought that the way
hmm.
they handled things was very cool.
Yes.
Um, didn't seem like the Warrens, where they were making a big production out of things.
Sure.
I really liked that.
Right.
But yeah, so they took it to the back to the Catskills. They did the ceremony to unbind it, and you know, I feel like that was the right thing to do instead of just going and throwing it back
Yeah.
into the
Which they
cave,
could have.
you
Yeah.
know?
They could have just
Yeah,
cooked it. I mean, honestly,
right,
they could have not bothered going all the way back
right.
up the mountain
Yeah,
and doing all of it. They could have just
right.
got rid of it. But I don't know. I really got the impression that it helped. I don't
Me
know.
too.
I just feel
Yeah,
like what they did. I don't know why. Because
Right.
nobody really knows. No
There's
one's
no
gonna go
proof
back
of
up
it.
there, right? And
Right.
they buried everything, but I don't know. Something tells me that
Yeah.
did the trick.
Yeah.
I
It was
hope so.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was, after the ritual, things did get quiet and they felt a relief,
Mm-hmm.
but there was also a little uncertainty. Did they truly unbind it? They felt like they did. It felt right. They felt like they did it right. They maybe helped release the spirit. Um, but was it projection? Like there's so many questions that, is this something they projected or did it really happen? Even the Newkirks themselves say they don't know for certain, but they, in their guts, feel like they handled it the right way,
Yes.
which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what makes the Unbinding kind of different from other paranormal documentaries is it doesn't demand you to believe. It kind of leaves you open
Absolutely.
to have these questions, which
Yeah.
I appreciated,
Yeah. Sure.
Um, so there's a lot of, skepticism, of course,
Mm-hmm.
around this. Are haunted objects even real? Was this imagined by the hikers? Was it imagined by the
Sure.
Newkirks? Is this something that, is kind of a catalyst for our own, psychological stuff?
Right.
Or did the object really have power? Was it the curse? Was it the object itself? There's just
Mhm.
so many questions about it.
There are. Yes.
Yeah. What were there any particular questions that came up for you when you watched it? Did you feel like it really happened, or did you feel like it was kind of hyped for the documentary,
Oh, sure.
or
I mean, when I watch these type of things, I go into it thinking it is what it is. This is what they're telling me it is.
Mhm.
And I really never had any doubt about it
Yeah,
because,
me
and
either.
especially
Yeah.
since we've done this stuff before, right? We've talked about these
Right.
things before and the possibility of attachments to objects. I believe in that. I think that can happen.
I
Um,
do too. Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of experienced it. I think I discussed that one of the times, my friend of mine who owns a business, it was the first time I'd ever done a ghost hunt, if you will. And it was
Yeah.
really more of like, she was like, I'm pretty sure this place is haunted. Do you want to come check it out and just see? And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it. And we didn't really know what the heck we were doing. But Gabby had gotten actually visions of this thing. She had done like a medium reading for this friend of mine and had seen this particular spirit that was attached to some items that my friend owned.
Oh, wow.
When Gabby was doing like a mediumship reading with this friend of mine, she could see have like she had visions of a woman who was eventually we discovered attached to a china set
Oh,
friend
yeah.
had at her
Oh,
place of business. And the and the woman, the deceased woman who had the attachment, was breaking the dishes. She would have rather seen them be broken than anybody else using them.
wow.
And so when Gabby saw this, she asked my friend, I'm trying not to disclose any names or places because I
Yeah,
it could this place of business it could actually hurt. I think it could hurt her business. Some places
right.
you might do better if you're at a haunted
Right.
place.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. So, so she had told her, she's asked, does this china just fall or break or crack? And she said it sure does.
Wow.
It kind of come off the shelves. And so for me, I feel like, and then eventually we ended up having kind of a conversation with this woman in particular about everything. It was super interesting. Um,
Yeah,
but I believe it. I
I do
believe
too.
it. I feel like even when I was finally there and in the room with this china, uh, things became very active.
Right.
And yes, so I believe that things can be cursed and in different ways too, right? I mean, this particular story
Right.
is clearly somebody who has almost cursed a person to be a part
Yes.
of an object.
Right.
And then you have objects out there that have attachments, because we as humans, we love our stuff.
Right.
It's certainly
Yeah.
possible that we could be so attached to something we don't want to leave that thing.
That's true. And
Yeah.
they kind of touch on that at the beginning of the documentary when they were talking about their collection of cursed items, that a lot of those, the people had such an emotional attachment to these items that it creates a lot of energy
Yeah.
around those objects. And I believe that. Like
Hmm.
I really honestly feel like I used to have a cursed couch. It was like an antique couch and a lot of weird energy around it. And my mom was actually sleeping on it and felt like it was pushed. And she was like, I think this couch is cursed. And I really believe it. And then we got rid of it and things were okay
Oh my
after
goodness.
that. So I don't know.
That's
You
wild.
know, I feel like it's definitely a possibility, you know? So,
Well, and plus you had the cursed coat.
oh, yes. Yes.
If y'all have
That
been with
damn
us,
coat.
yeah, if y'all have been
Right.
with us since the beginning or it started at
So,
the beginning, y'all
yes.
know Jamie had a cursed coat.
That's right. That is right. Oh, I still believe that thing caused a lot of wreaks havoc on my life. I do. So they do feel like they did good. You know, they did a good thing. Of course, there's still, you know, questions, you know, was it just going through the ritual and that made them, you know, feel a release themselves? Or did they actually do something good and unbind the spirit
Yes.
from the object? I guess questions I have, I think we kind of covered it was if would you, maybe for the listeners,
Mhm.
if you found something like this, would you pick it up and
Mhm.
take it home or would you leave it? I'm
Right.
curious to
Right.
know, you know? Um, do you think that the power is in the object itself or do you think
Mm,
it's something else, you know?
interesting.
Does it come from the object or does it come from an external
Okay.
power?
Sure.
I don't
Sure.
know.
Right.
These are questions I have. Um, do you think that objects, I think I believe that objects can carry energy, but I'm curious to see what our listeners think.
Yes.
Or is it, you know, in the mind of the owner? Is it some
Mm.
kind of an emotional attachment? So, um, I would you have tried to unbind this, or do you think you would have left it alone?
Well, before seeing this movie,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it would have occurred to me to do what
Right.
they did. Now,
Right.
um, Dana has a background. She speaks about it.
Wiccan.
She's a
Yep.
Yeah, she's a witch. So I feel that she was very knowledgeable about
Right.
what naturally they could do to help whatever was attached to this object. See,
Right.
I don't have any knowledge.
No, me
I wouldn't,
neither.
and I wouldn't have
Yeah.
even known where to begin. So if we have
No.
a first object like this bag, I'm calling Dana is what I'm gonna do.
Call Dana. Yeah. They're the pros. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I guess I don't know if I would have gone through. I think it would have been like the couch situation or the coat situation. Just
Try it.
let's just put it somewhere else. But then that makes me feel like I'm, you know, pushing that responsibility off. So maybe that's true. I would call an expert next time. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, now we
Instead
know.
of just, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're gonna have to go up to the
Uh,
zoo though.
yeah,
In our
exactly.
town, we're gonna go to the zoo.
Exactly.
Taking our cursed objects.
That's right. Yes. Um, so I guess in the end, the unbinding wasn't really about proving or disproving the paranormal. It was really about how we interact with the unknown. And like Dana and well, the Newkirks, they kind of treated everything in a respectful way
Yeah.
with curiosity and sometimes fear. I mean,
Sure.
there were some things that happened that scared them, you
Hmm.
know. So whether we really see it as a haunting or a mirror of our own beliefs kind of leaves you with the question, when we confront the strange, what exactly are we unbinding?
Right.
Is, you know, the spirit world or ourselves? And that's kind of what the kind of some of the questions that the documentary left. And
Yes.
I just thought it was really good, really well done.
It really was. That was
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend. And I know we've discussed it on the show today, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, check
Right.
it out. We both, you found it on Tubi. I found it on Tubi. So it's available on Tubi.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's
I do
fascinating.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to look up Hellier,
Familiar. Okay.
Hellier,
Okay.
and also centers around the Newkirks. So
Cool.
I'm
Okay,
interested
great.
in checking that out. But
Yeah.
yeah, so cursed objects, man.
Yeah.
Cursed objects.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's a total possibility.
I do too.
I
Yep,
really do. Yeah, we are as humans, we are just energy, and I think we can slap our energy onto whatever we want. I mean, some people even say we leave almost a print wherever we go. So a little
right.
bit of
Yeah,
energy is in every space we've ever been or anything we've touched. So
right.
I think it would be easy to leave a little bit of us on a particular object.
I
And if
think so
we happen
too.
to be attached to that object, I think we could leave a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, but oh, um, I think I've one thing I forgot to mention was before they went to the Catskills, then they had the guy that made the replica of it.
Yes.
Yes. And I was really fascinated by like just the replica.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, it had some creepiness to it too,
Sure.
you know?
Yes.
So I don't know. It's very fascinating.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, so The Crone,
That was cool.
the Unbinding documentary, check it out.
Very, very cool. All right. Good deal.
That's all I've got
Okay.
for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, good. Well, we can chit chat about our movies
Yeah.
of the week.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, this week I have another fun independent horror movie
Yay.
by the name of Oddity. This is a very recent film, just last year, 2024.
Mm.
I made sure to get the rating. It's rated R, so
Okay. There you
mhm,
go.
I like a good.
It's a real horror
It's
movie
a
because
real
it's
horror movie. Although
yes.
it's so funny because someone had just a friend of mine is watching like a horror movie every night and posting about it on Facebook, and he had was talking about Insidious. And Insidious, those films, at least the
Yeah.
first two are just PG-13.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, that one was actually pretty spooky. So, and then Good Boy that I just saw was
Yeah.
PG-13. It
Yeah.
really was. I'd even told Hayden because he kept asking me about it.
Right.
I said, honestly, Hayden, you could probably watch Good Boy
Yeah.
for the most part. It does have there's some things, and I mean, it's spooky, but it's not like I mean, it's in the perspective of a dog, so it's not,
Right.
yeah. So, um, but no, Oddity is R. I'm all about the rated R horror film.
Okay.
I think that's just tops.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. This movie was written and directed by Damian McCarthy. He also did another film called Caveat, which I saw
Okay.
Oddity first, and I went back and I watched Caveat. That is really well done too. That is definitely like a mind thing. Like you gotta, it's in like one spot as well, and it's so that's really good. So I would also check out Caveat. But Oddity really struck me. I had heard a lot of good things about it. and I decided, I'm going to check it out myself. It does star Carolyn Brackman, or I'm sorry, Bracken, William Lee, and Carolyn Menton. It actually won the Audience Choice Award at South by Southwest last year.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And it has won several other awards as well as has lots of nominations. You can actually find it right now on Hulu or AMC Plus. I think it was considered a Shudder original, I thought. But
Okay.
you can get Shudder through AMC Plus. So that might
Oh,
if
okay.
you go through AMC Plus, you might be able to get it. So, and it's possible if you have Shudder, you might still be able to get it on Shudder, but I couldn't confirm that.
Okay.
Um, so this movie, it is about a woman, Darcy, and she's a blind psychic. And
Ooh.
she owns an antique store. And I mention this because there's this great scene in the beginning of the film where her brother-in-law comes into the store and he reads a sign on the wall. And I have to read this sign because I've decided I'm going to make the same sign for my antique booth because
Ooh.
I don't know why I thought I didn't think about this when I started selling my antiques in a store, but people steal.
Oh, yeah.
People steal your
Right.
stuff. I've found like the tags that I put on my item. They'll take the tag off and then they'll take the item. And part of me is,
Ah,
why? Do you think there's some kind of sensor in there or something? Like
right.
we're all just
That
small
is
time
so
people
weird.
trying to make a living, like, right?
Right.
Stealing my stuff. So things have been actually much better, but I still want to make this sign. I absolutely love it. It says, if you're thinking of stealing something, you should know every item in here is cursed. Curses are listed at the time of purchase.
Nice. That's good. I like that.
I
I
like
like that
that.
a
I
lot.
thought, man, that's really clever. And I kept thinking about the woman because, she's blind, so someone could
Yeah.
easily come in and steal her thing,
Right.
steal her antique.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm going to make a sign. I'm going to post that in my booth. So
You should, for
it'll,
sure.
I don't know. Either some people are going to find it humorous or they're going to not buy a single thing from me because they're going to believe everything is cursed and they're going to be like,
Right.
forget it. Let's test the theory and see if business goes up or if it goes down.
There you go. I like it.
Right? So she is working to find out who killed her twin sister. And it's a year later after the murder happens, and she goes to this countryside house where her sister was murdered. Living there is her sister's husband, and the husband has a new lady friend. All right, it's only been a year. He already got somebody else.
Uh-oh.
Little shady, if you ask me, but okay. And they're living in the house where the wife was murdered.
Yeah, that's weird.
Who does
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That's a special type of gold digger right there.
Right.
Who's like, oh, my wife was murdered here? Okay. I can sleep here. There's no way I could sleep there. Forget it.
No.
Awful.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, so Darcy, she ends up sending a life-size, they refer to it as a wooden golem. Basically, it is like a life-size wooden mannequin. And it is freaky looking. I mean, the mouth is like open. It just, yeah. And
Okay, that sounds creepy.
it's very creepy looking. And so Darcy sends this as a gift to her brother-in-law, if you will, and his new lady friend. And so, it's kind of like, why would you send such a gift that looks like this? Like,
Right. Yeah.
and so Yara, the new girlfriend, is also like, I don't want this thing. This is freaky
Right.
looking. And they kind of like take it out of its box and kind of set it up at the kitchen table.
What?
Right.
This is getting weirder. Wait a second.
So it just kind of sits there and looks creepy. And so yeah, Yara is not having it. She doesn't want this thing, but she's kind of like watching it and she's noticing more and more creepy things about it. And maybe even things like, is she catching it moving on its own? So the story kind of goes from there. I don't want to give too much away. It has a ton of twists and turns in this one. So, the story is it's very, very good. I don't know if you want to necessarily, I wouldn't even call it like a slow mover because like right from jump, you get this action, from time to
Right.
time. I will have to share that the first time I saw this, there is a scene in the movie where I was so focused and it's very quiet and it was a big jump scare. And I literally jumped and I let out one of my man screams.
Oh no.
It happened.
Yeah.
I actually screamed. So, um, so I do think it has like very scary moments and things like that. It's a very atmospheric. The whole thing was, it's an Irish film, so everything was filmed in Ireland. So it's like beautiful, creepy. You know what I mean?
Okay. I
It's
like that.
great
Yeah.
cinematography and things like that. And once again, I've talked about this with my other movies that I've chosen. I think it has a great ending. You know, sometimes it's
Okay.
super hard to end a horror movie. In my opinion, I think this one ended, I think, pretty darn well. Um, Things happen unexpectedly, things I wasn't, which is great. I don't want it to be,
Yeah.
you want something to be different and change, So I really like that. I feel so passionate about this film that I've actually unfriended a guy on Facebook who kept carrying on about how much he didn't like this movie. I feel
Oh wow. That's funny.
well, after I had seen it, I posted about it and wrote about it, and then other people were commenting and talking about how much they liked it. Well, this particular person, who's also a local filmmaker in the community that I'm in, um, he just kept going on about it and he didn't understand it, and he just kept carrying on. And then I had another friend post about it, and he did the same thing and kept, I mean, he was just like
Oh,
really knocking the movie. I
yeah.
was just like, and not only that, but it was around the time I had gotten tickets to go to the Ohio State Reformatory, and I was so
Oh,
excited.
okay.
And I had
Yeah.
posted about it on Facebook, and I was excited. And this particular guy ended up putting like a laughing emoji.
Oh, yeah.
I was
I
like, you
would
know
block
what?
him.
I don't need
Done.
that kind of negativity in my life, sir.
Yeah,
I said, we're not
for
friends
sure.
anymore. I'm like,
Got it.
listen, you don't like Oddity and you're going to make fun because I'm going to go see Steve Gonsalves? Yeah, screw you.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
that's it. Move on. Moving on.
Just don't need it in my life.
That's right. That's hilarious.
I thought I would share that I've actually unfriended people because of this movie. That's how good it is,
Okay.
folks. I'm willing to lose
All
friendships
right.
over this. Okay. I'm willing to
Okay.
lose friendships. So,
I'm
yeah,
on
no,
it. I'm definitely going to see
yeah,
it.
it's fantastic. And check out Caveat too. I thought that was really well done too. But yes,
Cool.
so Oddity this week.
That's awesome.
All
I love it. I'm going to check it out. I
right.
like all these indie ones.
Yeah.
So, well, mine
Yeah.
is another psychological horror film.
Okay.
Session 9 is what I chose.
Hmm.
It's directed by Brad and Anderson, who also did The Machinist.
Oh, yeah.
It stars Peter Mullen, David Caruso, Stephen Gevedon,
Okay. Yep.
Josh Lucas, and Brandon Saxton.
Okay.
So this film is mostly in one location, which we've talked
Yeah.
about. It was primarily shot in Danvers State Hospital in Danvers,
No
Massachusetts.
kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
The film follows an asbestos cleaning crew working inside the abandoned Danvers State Mental Hospital. As they tackle their job, the men start experiencing paranoia, strained relationships, and disturbing encounters that kind of blur that line
Mhm.
between psychological breakdown and possible supernatural forces. So, at the center are mysterious recorded psychiatric sessions, especially the chilling Session 9 tape
Mhm.
that seems to connect the men's unraveling mental state. So, it's kind of a slow burn.
Okay.
Um, it's not, a lot of, jumpy kind of stuff, but it's kind of more of a atmospheric
Yeah.
horror
Love it.
about dread and paranoia, more than that than the jumpy scary
Sure.
stuff. um it premiered in August 2001 at film festivals
Okay.
and then had a wider release later.
Hmm.
um it kind of arrived around the time of the found footage
Oh,
era,
sure. Yes.
like Blair Witch
That
Project.
would
It was
make
kind
sense.
of,
Yeah, it's just a couple years after that. Yeah. Okay.
in that era. It wasn't a big box office hit, but it did kind of develop a cult following
Yes,
later
I
on.
I have heard more and more about Session 9 now than I
Right,
did 20 years ago. So
right.
yes, so I think it
Yeah,
does. And sometimes films do that. They really pick up steam after a while, which is
yeah.
kind of cool too.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, especially people that are fans of like minimalistic,
Hmm.
atmospheric horror
Yep.
are really drawn to this film. And it's kind of right up my alley for that reason. But the Danvers State Hospital was a real abandoned hospital,
Wow.
asylum
Wow.
in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's infamous for its Gothic architecture, so it just looks really cool. And the filmmakers shot almost entirely the whole film on that location.
Cool.
So it kind of has that like authentic, chilling,
Oh, sure.
you feel like you were there kind of
Hmm.
thing. They also use minimal lighting, a lot of natural light,
Wow.
flashlights, that kind of
Oh,
stuff in
neat.
the
Okay.
film. Yeah.
Mhm.
The sound design, it has a lot of like that plays a big part in it too, which is
Mhm.
really cool. Kind of distorted voices, and then of course just the tapes itself. It really helps. It relies on sound a lot to tell the
Okay.
story
Oh, that's
well, which
nice.
is
I like that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But it was a very small budget too. Only a $1.5 million
Okay.
dollar budget, which is
Which is
pretty
chump
low.
change.
Chump change. Yeah. Yeah.
You can pull that right out
Um,
of our cursed couch.
yeah, exactly. Or
Right out of
maybe
the couch
my first
cushion.
coat pockets.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right. But yeah, so that was mine. It is kind of a slow burn, like I said, but it's right up my alley. It kind of, right on that line between psychological and supernatural.
Sure.
Really gets inside the characters' minds, and I really like that a
Yes.
lot. So,
I wonder if in real life while they were filming this, I would love to hear if they actually experienced anything for real
oh
on
yeah,
that set.
that would be cool. I'll
Just
have to
because
check that out.
it's pretty common, right? I mean, I don't want to like
Yeah,
totally generalize, but I'm going to generalize that,
right.
hospitals like that just get abandoned tend to be haunted usually,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. I
So I
agree.
have to imagine if it's been quiet there and all of a sudden this film crew comes in and makes this movie, I feel like,
Right.
yeah. All right, David Caruso, if you're out there, you've heard us. Josh Lucas, let
Yes.
us hear your ghost stories from when you filmed Session
Yes.
9. I
We
want
want to know.
to
We
know. We'll
do.
have you on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. One of my favorite investigations ever was at a old it was a um it's not, there's a sanatorium. I can't
Mm.
remember
Oh,
which
yes.
one
Okay.
goes with which,
Yeah.
but it's in Arkansas. It's the Boonville, I think it's sanatorium, but
Okay.
it was an old TB hospital
Oh, wow.
where they sent
Yes.
people with TB,
Yes.
and it was one of the scariest
Really?
investigations I've been on.
Yeah.
So creepy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
I believe
I
it.
like I like the old abandoned
Oh,
hospital
so cool, right?
asylum settings.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very
absolutely.
cool.
And really, that some things that are like even I don't know when it comes to anything like the hospitals or even like when I was at the Ohio State Reformatory, um, if you're into buildings and structures, I mean they don't make
Yeah.
them like that
No.
anymore. And so these
Uh-uh.
buildings, it just you can appreciate the history and the architecture on some of these places, even
Yeah.
run down, it's still you're just like, man, like I get
I
blown
know.
away by the architecture of these places. So that just
Yeah.
that alone, I just think
Me
is so
too.
cool. So I can only
Me
imagine the place you went to visit. Yeah, that would be very,
It
very
was
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's massive too. It's just
Yeah, they're always huge. These hospitals are
so massive.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And they go
Yep.
on. Well, even when I was at at Penn there for the
Uh-huh.
Paracon, my goodness, there were several buildings, and the each
Yeah.
building was huge, and each building was 3 stories, and
Yep.
it's like, my gosh, like and all brick and
Exactly. And they
just
build these things. It's
and
just
build it,
nuts.
which is yeah,
Build them.
right, which is
Yeah.
so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Oh, I have not seen session 9, and like I said, I
Okay.
keep hearing more and more about it. So I
Yeah.
feel like I have to watch that this season.
Go
So
check it
yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Well, cool. Well,
Yeah. Cool.
thanks for sharing.
Yes. Yeah, really. Thank you. And thank you everybody for tuning in this week. If you have any horror movie suggestions or scary stories you would like to share, you can reach out to us at unexplainedarchives@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We always have lots of things we're posting on there each and every day. And then feel free. We would really love to have more subscribers and likes and comments. And don't forget to hit the little bell to get your reminders of when the episodes are coming up. And thank you to everyone. We've been getting so many, like many more and more subscribers, I know on Spotify as well as YouTube. So thank you guys. We really, really
Yeah.
appreciate the support.
And Apple Podcast is
Yeah,
growing.
that is
So,
growing
yeah,
big time. So thank you so
we
much, everybody
appreciate
who's
it.
listening on all the platforms. We appreciate it.
Woohoo. And we will see you next week.
And next week. All right.
Yay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.